This video is on example 4 of the category at fair value through profit or loss. Example 4 is very similar to the transactions that you have seen in example 3. It also has ordinary shares that get purchased or sold, and then there's a rights issue, and rights are sold and rights are exercised. So the example is very similar to example 3. Therefore, I'm not going to do the entire example. I would like to focus on one transaction, and specifically the transaction that took place on 30 January. On this date, each ordinary share that Kaya Limited had as an investment in Alna Limited, each one of those shares was subdivided in 2 ordinary shares. So this is also called a share split. It is when existing shares get split into more shares. So Kaya Limited did not acquire more shares. They don't get shares in terms of a capitalization issue. The existing shares that they have are just split into more shares. This sometimes happens when an entity is seeing that the share price is getting very high and that people are struggling to buy the shares because of the high price per share. They try to decrease the price per share by doing a share split. An opposite of a share split can also happen where a few shares together are consolidated into one share. So that would be the opposite of a share split. If we have a look at the T account, the investment in the ordinary shares of Alna Limited, we acquired 500 shares, then we acquired another 500 shares, and then we sold 600 shares. So on the day that the share split took place, we had a balance of 400 shares. Those shares had a value of R7.20. Therefore, our investment at this moment was R2,880. What happened now is that every one share that we had split in 2. So in the end, we would have double the shares. So we had 400. For every one, we now have 2. So we end up having 800 shares. Our existing shares split. We do not get additional shares. Therefore, our investment amount stays the same. We didn't buy more shares. We didn't get more shares. Our existing shares split. If our rand value of our investment in shares stays the same, but the number of shares change, what will happen to the rand per share? It will decrease. We have more shares for the same rand value. That is also what will happen in the market, and that is why entities do share splits. The more shares are available in the market, the lower the price per share will be. Will that R3.60 be exactly the price in the market? Will that be exactly what happens to the price per share in the marketplace? No, probably not. Is that a problem? No, because at some point with further transactions or at the reporting date, we will do a fair value adjustment. The opposite of a share split is called a share consolidation. That is when a few of our shares together consolidate into one share. In that case, our investment amount still stays the same, but we have a few shares together becoming one share. We have less shares for that rand value. We have looked at capitalization issues, share issues, in terms of a rights issue, and now a share split. All of these examples were done in the category at fair value through profit and loss. Please remember that you also have an investment in shares in the category at fair value through OCI. Those shares can also have a capitalization issue or a rights issue or a share split. The same principles apply.